We've got side totals, prop bets, and more here on Puck Time. I am Andrew McGinnis, and I have Bryan Leonard and Carmine Bianco with me here on this Monday. Super happy to be back talking hockey on Puck Time. 3 games to break down: Leafs, Islanders, Wings, and Stars. And we have the Flames in Colorado to take on the Avalanche. Best bets at the end of the show. No standalone game today. We'll just dive into all 3 of those that I mentioned. Carm, how are you, man? Good to see you.
Andrew, I'm good. It's been a rough week, not from the sports end, but from the family end with an ill pet that seems to have turned the corner and things are looking good. We'll see. It's day to day. 24 years. You don't want to put a pet down, but this is a hockey show, and thankfully we have a show today because sometimes these distract you from the other things in life. But yeah, man, listen, a decent Thursday, decent Friday, a decent Sunday. Saturday, Andrew, I got wrecked. And we're not talking, I went out and had a good time and had a lot of drinks. I got wrecked. I could not win a game. If you were standing beside me, we'd probably both get hit by lightning. It was one of those days. But with that said, it's a new week. I'm going to turn it around, but I wanted to be 100% transparent. And that's what these shows allow us to do. And we got 4 games tonight. We're not going to cover the Buffalo game because they have become the free space on the bingo card, Andrew. I used to make fun of your Montreal Canadiens, but you guys did beat us. I'll give you that. So call a spade a spade. Let's get to hockey so we can get Brian's opinions.
So when the free space on the bingo card beats the other team, they now become the free space. They have taken their spot on the bingo cards. Let's jump into Maple Leafs and Islanders here. Minus 130 road favorites for the Leafs, and we have plus 110 on the other side there. Did I start in the wrong order, Carm? I saw you looking. Oh, no, we're all good. Okay.
No.
On the other side,
No,
6 is the total. My bad. We see the minus 1.5 there. If you're looking for it, the puck line is plus 195 for the Maple Leafs. So, this is a team off a strong win against the Nashville Predators. But I'll tell you what, looking at really what this Toronto team does when they play lesser opponents, Brian, we know they usually play down to their opponents. So is this a spot where the number almost seems kind of fishy and they play down to their opponent, or do you think the Maple Leafs can get it done as favorites here?
Well, these are 2 teams that I've made a good amount of money on so far this season. But in the last week or 2, it hasn't worked out that way. Maple Leafs are playing their best hockey of the season, 7-1-2 mark in those last 10 games in 5-on-5 play. Goal for percentage of 57.14, expected 50.36. So for the first time all season, they're actually outplaying their advanced stats. And that's not something we've seen out of Toronto. They've been underperforming all season long. During that 10-game streak in 5-on-5 play, they've outscored the opposition 24-18. But the Islanders have been my nemesis a few times lately, and they're on a comparable 7-1-2 run. I still don't think they're a very good hockey team. And if you take a look at their season-to-date records, I believe they've been outscored by like 10 goals on the year. So they're just playing their best ball of the season, just like Toronto is. Over the last 10 games in 5-on-5 play, the Islanders have a goal for percentage of 52, expected of 47.71. So they too are due for some negative regression as they are outplaying their advanced stats. I wanted to play Toronto here because I'm more of a believer in Toronto on the season than I am for the Islanders, but I didn't want to lay more than 115. And I believe it opened in the 120 range. It's in about a 130 range now. So I'm priced out of the game. Although if I was forced to make a selection, I think Toronto wins this. But you're never going to make money betting on sports if you're forcing yourself into playing lines that just aren't in the area that you want to play them. So I'll sit this one out.
It's all about getting that price that you want, be able to get that price you're looking for. If it's not there, maybe wait to see if a live bet's there. And if that's not there, you pass on the game. And, you said you've had success with these teams so far, Brian, whether it's going against them or riding with them. And Carm, you're you live in the area. I mean, you're around there in Toronto. You know how this team is. Saturday night, they show up. Weeknights, not so much. Do you expect kind of a flat spot from this Leafs team, or what do you think in this game tonight?
Yeah, I have to say, Andrew, I think must have some voodoo powers that I didn't want to use. It is funny because at the beginning of and I'm just going to equate the two. At the beginning of the soccer season, I said Man City would probably run away with the title as long as Kevin De Bruyne doesn't get injured. First game he gets injured. Last week's show, I say to you, Joseph Wall, he's got to be the number one. Let's give him the net and let him run with it. And he gets injured that night. I got to stop putting pressure on players. But, you get to this game, and I agree with Brian. I think Toronto's the play here. It just depends on the price you want to pay. I'm a little different. I think 125, 130 is not a bad price on it. But you look at the Islanders, 7-1-2 is their last 10 is impressive. But that came on the heels of an 0-7 run and good teams just don't lose 7 games in a row. I don't think you're going to see the Leafs lose 7 games in a row as much as you can pick pretty much any team in the NHL, the top teams, and they're not going to lose that many games in a row. Sorokin's confirmed starter for tonight. He doesn't have a winning record against the Leafs, but he's only had 5 starts against them. I think he's 2-3. It's Samsonov scheduled, but we don't know if he's going to go tonight. The Leafs are similar, 7-1-2, their last 10. And just when you thought the Leafs might be a play against, and some people were saying take Nashville against Toronto because it's Marty Jones in goal. He gets and I don't actually even know who started that game, but whether it was Samsonov or Jones, but 4-0 shutout in that game. The starter in that game was Samsonov, but it's Marty Jones as the backup now, and people are going to think it's Leafs overs are a way to go. I still don't think so. I think the Leafs are playing a little bit better defensively. If you look at their last 10 or so games, they are playing. They get drawn into some of these 4-3 type games, but for the most part, they're playing some better D. They're back checking and they're playing well. And there's always the X factor of any time Toronto goes to New York and John Tavares comes home to New York, all the signs are out, all the hateful signs are out for JT, who left the Islanders to play for the Leafs. It's Toronto for me tonight. Samsonov minus 125, minus 130. I think that's the right play tonight. So I think New York are overplaying their numbers and where they should be this season, and I think the Leafs are on the way up. I picked them to win the Atlantic, and I'm sticking by that. They're only, I think, 6 points or 7 points back of the Boston Bruins with a couple games in hand. The Leafs are going to pick up a lot more wins, and it's the Leafs for me. Let's get the points tonight with the Leafs at minus 125 or minus 130.
All right, looking towards the Leafs, and as you mentioned, Carm, that John Tavares game. I mean, I find it cool that no matter what, hockey fans especially will not forget. They will not forget anything. It could be a year later. It could be 10 years later. When a player that left their team comes back, the boo birds will be out, the signs will be out, and they'll be getting after him. And I think he has the opportunity to snap a record tonight or, set some type of streak or something like that. I can't remember what it was, but things always work out in certain ways. And I think Tavares has the opportunity to do something special tonight. He might be a look for some player props and things like that. Guys, a little bit out of my comfort zone with the team totals. Usually I'm looking for a plus price when I do that. But I like over 2.5 team total goals for the Islanders. Minus 140 is the kind of the smallest price I saw. I see 145s and 50s there. But looking at this Islanders team, they've I don't know if it works out better for them or not than kind of how they used to play. But the pace they're playing at is a lot faster. The way that this team gets up and down the ice, it seems like their style of sitting back and protecting leads and, looking for those 1-1 games is gone, is in the past now. Look at Carolina. I mean, if anybody's watched Carolina on that West Coast road trip, you've realized that style of hockey is almost extinct in hockey right now. You cannot play like that because the game is too fast. And a lot of teams, when they're having success and they're playing in big games, they're scoring 4 or 5 goals. I mean, you can't score 2 goals and even come close to winning a game most of the time these days in the NHL. off a big shutout, a great performance, a 6-0 effort on Saturday night. People were worried about the health, the injury situations, the goaltending problem. No Joseph Woll. Then you've got Samsonov being a problem. Wasn't playing well before. You look at the fact that he was kind of maybe rushed back from injury, even though they said he took his time. Now there's no choice but to make him the number one guy. We both know, Carm, they don't want Marty Jones in there. They prefer one of the two guys in Woll or Samsonov. And I think this is a good spot for the Islanders to show up. The number to me was kind of tricky. I like that it's a home game for this Islanders team where they do play better hockey. So team total over 2.5. Obviously wouldn't talk anybody off the full game over as well. But it just seems to me when it's a Saturday night, this Leafs team performs. When it's a random weeknight against a bad team, they kind of slow down a bit. So I'm going to hope for some defensive mistakes and for the Islanders to get things going and get up and over their team total. So when we look at some of the specials going on over at WagerTalk.com right now, guys, it's actually the last day for the rest of the year special. Obviously, rest of the year, we're here in December, all right? So it's not too long, but it's better than you're going to pay for, a week or 30-day and things like that. You're going to be able to get every single sport for $199. And right now, as we all know, it being in December, between the three of us, we're probably covering over 6 sports, I'd say. I mean, there's multiple different leagues and sports and action going on. We still have college sports. We've got European soccer. We've got UFC. We've got so much going on right now across the board. So if you guys want to jump in longer term for Bryan, for myself, for Carmine, looking at those long-term packages are great right now, $199. And again, it is the last day to take advantage. So if you guys see somebody with a 5% play, you see somebody with a big package going, they have 4 or 5 plays going today, you're better off just getting that long-term package, $199 for that play. And I think when you look at it, it just makes sense. If you want to get somebody's plays, if somebody has their best bet up and they lose, but they cash 4 other plays, if I was a customer, I would be frustrated. You definitely should look towards the all access and the longer term ones. And I'm sure you agree with me on that one. Carm, let's go to you for Detroit and Dallas and anything else you have to mention about that special, because I just think it's the best way to go for people.
But it is one, and again, it's the thing of judging someone over a bunch of plays as opposed to one individual play, right? So I think you checked off all the boxes as far as the promo goes, and it's to the end of 2023, and then we start a new year, but try and finish it off with a good one. Thankfully, yesterday was a better day for me after Saturday, 4-0 in NFL. And I'm one of the only times I'm going to pat myself on the back, Andrew, and then I'm going to get to this game is I'm number 1 at Wager Talk in the NFL this season. So, and that's quite a few plays, and 16-2-1 on Sunday. The last 5 Sundays have rocked. But with that said, speaking of rocking, what is happening with the Dallas Stars? And you look at this game and you look at the Stars and you're like, minus 200. They're like 4-6 their last 10 games. You got Detroit coming in. But I'm going to talk about you guys quickly about scheduling. And scheduling in the NHL is so important. The schedule forecasting, if nothing else. Dallas has come off an absolutely brutal schedule. And this is a schedule that saw them play Vegas twice, Florida once, Tampa twice, Calgary twice, Winnipeg, New York Rangers, Colorado, and the Washington Capitals was the last one. That is such a tough string. And listen, if you're a good team, you should be winning the majority of them. But they're these are over like a course of like 7 to 10 days, or sorry, 10 to 14 days, and it was a brutal schedule. Their schedule to finish off 2023, a very good one. And if they're as good as I think they are, they should be winning a lot of these games. They are going to play Ottawa, St. Louis twice, Seattle, Vancouver, Nashville, and then Chicago twice to close out the year. There's got to be a bunch of victories in that. So when we're talking about scheduling, you might want to look at Dallas as far as putting a streak together. You look at tonight's game, And they got to bounce back from that. That was an embarrassing loss to the Vegas Golden Knights, losing 6-1 in that one. And maybe the Wings are the right team to play because the Wings put together such a nice stretch of games, but their last couple of games have not been good. They lose to the Sharks 6-5. Imagine the Sharks. They have somehow found the back of the net. The Sharks team is scoring at an unbelievable clip. And then they follow that up with a very flat game at home against the Ottawa Senators. I get it. Ottawa's playing better, but that was a flat game by the Red Wings on home ice, losing that game 5-1. And a lot of stuff went down in that game. The flow was gone. That Dylan Larkin, that was a dirty hit on him. There's got to be a suspension coming as far as that one. But if nothing else, when Detroit comes to Dallas, they just do not fare well. They are 0-10 their last 10 visits to Dallas. And 7 of those 10 games were decided in regulation time. And that's where I'm looking at, Andrew, and I'll mention it at the end of the show as well, too, is the fact that I don't want to lay $200 with Dallas. I don't care who they're playing. I normally don't lay minus 200 with anybody, but my minus 140, minus 145 is a regulation line. I'd rather try and save that money because I don't think this goes to OT. I think Dallas gets it done in 60 minutes, and that's where I'm going with this one. Off of back-to-back losses for the Wings after that good stretch, sometimes teams regress, and maybe that regression is coming in for the Detroit Red Wings over a short span of time, and they get another loss tonight. So I'm going to take the Dallas Stars minus 145 in this one in regulation time and go to Bryan for his thoughts.
My wife and I, she's a big Golden Knights fan. Anytime the Golden Knights are around, we tried to watch the games together. And it was funny as hell. You mentioned the way Vegas played Dallas the other day. I believe Vegas was up 4-1, 5-1, and the DJ for the Dallas Mavericks started playing Megadeth, Symphony of Destruction, in front of their home crowd as they're getting their asses kicked to the Golden Knights. I thought that was funny as hell. I turned to my wife. I go, "Oh, they're playing Megadeth," and I go, "Symphony of Destruction." And I started laughing because the Golden Knights were beating them so bad, they had to have a little bit of humor. And it was funny because Dallas they did not play well in that game. And, I'm when it comes to handicapping this game, I'm not a guy that does the injured player theory like Marco does. But you'd have to think Detroit, after the way that last one ended, when losing your star player like that, I would expect them to come out with a really good effort here. You're taking a look at Detroit over the last 10 games on 5-on-5 play. Red Wings have a goal for percentage of 58.06, expected goal percentage of 46.71. So they're outplaying the advanced numbers. But if you take a look at those last 10 games, 5-on-5, they've outscored the opposition 18-13. 13 would not be a number I would be looking at for this Detroit team. They're playing pretty good defense. The last 10 games on 5-on-5 play. Dallas goal for percentage of only 46, expected of 53.58 the last 10 games in 5-on-5 play. They've been outscored 27-23 in 5-on-5 play, so they are not playing very good defense. So you got the Detroit team catching a good number here, a really high number, and they're playing the better defense. You take a look at the two teams on the season, and Detroit actually has a +7 goal advantage between these two clubs. They've been the better team on the season than Dallas has, and I picked Dallas to win it all before the year started. Normally, we would like to play on Dallas here because of the regression numbers, but the way the Red Wings are playing defense, we feel this is a dangerous underdog. The line's simply too high here. You're not going to get rich betting big favorites in the NHL. We've seen that before. We almost saw it last night with the San Jose Sharks almost shocking Vegas in that game and losing in the shootout. But give me Detroit here. The number's too high, and the way they're playing defense, I think there's value here, even though I have to agree, Dallas was a no-show against the Knights. You would think they'd turn it around, but I haven't been overly impressed by Dallas this year. I'll take Detroit with the plus money.
Yeah, I mean, Dallas's defense right now is kind of a trouble for me. And I talk about some of these defensive teams that like Islanders, for example, and the Carolina Hurricanes, and now even Dallas. I kind of put a lot of them into the same boat, the LA Kings, but the Kings are the masters of it, I'd say. Then Carolina's next to them. But the problem is that sometimes when teams sacrifice defense for scoring, it backfires on them in a big way. And when I look at this game here in particular, I expect goals. I look at this Detroit team coming off that stinker against the Senators, but overall they've been an over team, and I think that getting Patrick Kane only helps with that, creating goals, gaining chemistry with DeBrincat. Obviously, they played together in Chicago. But looking at this Detroit team, 5 of their last 6 wins, they have scored at least 4 goals. Actually, in a couple of their losses lately, they still have scored 4 goals. I've got a juicy team total here. Detroit over 3.5 goals plus 195. Don't even have to win the game. Get me to 4. And this is a Dallas team. You know, they played some tough competition, but 6 against Vegas, 4 against Washington, 5 allowed against Florida, 4 allowed against Tampa Bay. This is a team that's giving up goals right now. And if I think Detroit's going to have a good game, I like that plus 195 on the team total over 3.5 goals. So what I'll recommend is kind of a half bet on the full game over, and then a little sprinkle on this plus 195, because you got to love that number. When this team is competing in games, they're getting to 4 goals. So that's what my team total play would be here. Carm, you had some thoughts?
Yeah, you know, Brian and I, well, you're saying over 3.5 team total. So what you're saying is it's going to be a 5-4 win for the Stars. So we can both
Perfect.
win. 5-4 win, by the way, if you're playing an exact score 5-4 win, it's paying plus 1,800. So 18 to 1 on a 5-4 Dallas Stars win. But yeah, Brian and I are going mano a mano on this game. And the only time I like to go mano a mano or fight with Brian is if we're at a beer and wings place and we're fighting over that last pound of wings on the table while having a couple cold ones. But with that said, Brian, best of luck to you on this one. It's not making my card, but it is free play that I put up at WagerTalk. So let's head to that third game. I don't want to scrap with this guy anymore.
Let's head out to the Western Conference here. We have the Flames and Avalanche going head to head. We have a minus 175 home favorite here for the Avalanche. The Flames here, I'm curious your thoughts, Brian, on this team overall, because they've been an up and down squad. They're plus 145. Total's at 6.5 here. They moved a piece. They're constantly in trade rumors for getting rid of forwards and defensemen. I feel like an issue with the Flames is that they have never really had a rebuild. They've just kind of been there. It seems like the past 10 years, they have never been bad and they haven't been great. Is that a fair assessment for you? Like when you follow this team, they haven't really ever been on these massive losing streaks, nor have they been on big winning streaks either. They're just kind of that team. Do you agree with that?
Yeah, they're one of the teams that you just think is disappointing, I would say, if I had to give one word on the way they've played the last few years. And they've been disappointing once again this year. Take a look at the last 10 games, 5-on-5 play, goal for percentage of 45.45, expected goal 51.58. So once again, they're underperforming their expected numbers. In the last 10 games on 5-on-5 play, they've been outscored 24-20. That's somewhat concerning from the defensive standpoint. But Colorado is a team right now I've been fading lately, and I've been having a lot of success doing it, especially offensively. Colorado's goal for percentage the last 10, 5-on-5, 54.05. But the expected goals is only 46.54. So they've been overplaying their advanced metrics. And yet, I believe their last 10 games, they're 5-5. 5-1 or 5-2-3, 5-3-2. Still comes out to 5-5. The Avalanche have gone 9 straight games now without scoring more than 4 goals in any contest. If they were to score 4 goals, I could see it happening against this Calgary team, who I don't think is a very good defensive team. But are they going to all of a sudden start scoring when they haven't scored against lesser competition earlier? Colorado's a team right now that everybody thinks is one of the contenders to win it all once again. And from a talent standpoint, I can understand that. But when you get bad teams like San Jose and some others, Arizona came into the season, nobody thought much of them. When they're playing good and they have a bad history, you can make really big piles of money betting on those teams. You can do the same thing by betting against the Dallases that are struggling right now, the Colorados that are struggling. I think this line's too high. I think Calgary's got some value here. And I don't think Colorado is an offensive team that's going to put up a lot of goals, even against Calgary. So it wouldn't surprise me if Calgary's defense comes through and holds down this Colorado scoring unit in this one. Give me Calgary, and I wouldn't have any problems with taking the Colorado team total under as well.
Looking towards the underdog in this one. Nice price on that one too, Brian. What are your thoughts on this matchup, Carm?
I have to agree with Brian for the most part. Like he's looking at the Colorado team total under. I'm looking at the full game under. I get it. Listen, we all love high scoring games. We all love overs, but we're seeing, some nights we see 7 of 8 games go over the total, and then you see a stretch of like about 12 games where only 2 of them go over the total. And this is one where I think it stays under. It's just because both teams are struggling to score. If you look at like even last year's season series between these two, and the one game that they've played this season, the last 3 games have gone under the total, 3-1, 4-1, 4-1 score lines. These are low scoring games between two teams that right now probably need a win. And Prez has always talked about when a team, I think it's at least Prez, it might be you, Andrew, as well too. When a team needs a win, they get back to what matters the most: playing defense first and then trying to score. And both these teams need wins right now. I talked about very good teams don't lose 6 or 7 games in a row, but here we are. The Avalanche have lost 5 of their last 6, and not against a very tough schedule in losing those games. I think one to the Ducks, one to the Coyotes. So they squeak out a 3-2 win against Anaheim. They're just not scoring goals, and when you're not scoring goals, it's a great recipe to take the under. I say when you're taking the over, you got to make sure both teams can score. When you're taking the under, you want to take teams that are having trouble finding the back of the net. Now, as far as goalies go, because we know Markstrom's injured, he's got that finger injury that he picked up in practice. He's day to day. He's not listed anywhere as being even on the bench. They brought up Dustin Wolf. He's looked pretty good. I don't know if he's going to get the start tonight because they have back-to-back games. They play the Vegas Golden Knights tomorrow in Vegas, so it's likely Vidar in goal tonight, and then Dustin Wolf in goal for the Vegas game. But I like Wolf. I wish he was in goal tonight. I'd rather see him in net tonight. He's played well in his short stint of, I think, 3 games and then 1 relief appearance. But the under's the play for me here. I don't think these teams get over this number of 6.5.
Looks like we're in full agreement. I'm on the under 6.5 as well. There's hoping for things to turn around, or there's betting what's actually happening. And I think if I was betting some overs tonight with this Avalanche team, and obviously the Flames, but I think we know which team would probably push it over would be Colorado. But right now, they're not clicking. They haven't scored a power play goal in 5 straight games. The Chushkin was supposed to be kind of that number 1 secondary option guy right now. He slowed down. McKinnon is pretty much the only guy doing something on this team, and he's supposed to be their best player, and I get that. But what really drives this Colorado team is when their secondary scoring is showing up, when they're getting support from their blue line, and those guys, Makar and Devon Toews, are making plays. Right now, that's not happening. I do worry they could kind of have an outburst against the Flames, but the Flames, one thing they've done a good job in is keeping things tight and actually staying out of the penalty box themselves. And I don't think that the Avalanche are going to sustain this poor track record right now on the power play. But as it stands right now, they're killing penalties at a high rate, but they're not really having success on the power play themselves. And I think people kind of underestimate the defensive ability the Flames have. Both these teams, really. When you think about the Avalanche, people talk about offense. McKinnon, Rantanen, these guys, they still are a good defensive team. I think this could be a Western Conference battle that's super tight checking. Maybe first 1 to 3 wins in this type of one. And I think we're getting a 6.5 because of the Avalanche, of course, not because of the Flames. But as they talk about a lot on WagerTalk today, these numbers are set for the season, not for recency, right? A lot of these numbers you're seeing are for totals for 6.5s. Even the money line prices, of course, are not set because of what you've seen lately. They're set on a season basis, right? So for Colorado right now, their scoring ability has gone downhill. So I'm on the under 6.5 as well. But I will just dive into it really quick and just mention that I have Colorado as my buy team for this week. Yes, the buy and sell segment is back. I wanted to find a couple teams to look at, one buy team and one sell team. I think Colorado's gone through a mix of some tougher opponents, some weaker opponents, and this is an opportunity this week where they have a decent schedule set up. And you look at some teams, they might actually play down to their opponents. Some teams are better against good teams. When I look at the schedule coming up here for the Avalanche, kind of a mixed bag: Flames, Sabres, Jets, and then the Sharks. So a couple good teams, couple bottom feeders. This to me is an opportunity, especially for them to get out on the road in a few of those, to get back on track and start playing like themselves. And when you play some weaker teams, you kind of boost your confidence. But when you also get a win against a good team like the Jets, it certainly helps boost your confidence and kind of get you going a little bit. So I think the Avalanche are a team moving forward I want my money on. People say it all the time. You know, do you want to bet on a team? Do you want to look to bet on them, you know, at the end of a winning streak? Or do you want to try and jump on it when you feel like they're about to go on a good streak? And as much as the Avalanche are struggling right now, I don't think that continues. I think in the future they do get going. And I think it's a good time this week for us to start betting and buying on this Avalanche team. My sell team, and I'm curious what the guys here on the panel think here, my sell team is actually going to be the Tampa Bay Lightning. I just think that how competitive this Atlantic division has gotten, I think that their schedule coming up isn't very friendly for them. And this is a Tampa Bay Lightning team that used to just put up goals on a night in, night out basis. Kucherov, Point, all their top players are performing. I would describe them as a pretty inconsistent team. You know, I think that we've seen them put up 8 goals one night, and then the next game they put up 2 or 3. They are not consistent. Their shot counts are high, but their goaltending has not been as good this season. They've lost a ton of pieces of their dynasty team over the last few years. When they play tough teams consistently, they go into a few bumps in the road. And taking a look at their schedule, they've got the Canucks, Oilers, Flames, Blues, their next 4 games here. The Canucks are a team that's always tough to play against. The Oilers are playing their best hockey of the season. I'm looking to bet against this Tampa Bay Lightning team right now. I feel like their numbers are overinflated, and I want to make some money betting against them. So hopefully we can get some good prices, guys. And remember, that team total market's always there. Stay away from the puck lines. If you're betting a puck line, just take that team total. A lot of times those puck lines, if you're covering one, you're also getting to 4 goals. So that's my buy and sell. Carm, any thoughts for you on that one? And if not, get right to your best bet, man. Muted.
Sorry, I had to cough, so I muted myself while I coughed. You guys don't need to hear me coughing while Andrew does his buy and sell. Andrew, I like the Colorado one, and I really do like the and I really do like the Tampa one. I spent all of Sunday again after getting wrecked on Saturday, all of Sunday. While watching football, looking at all NHL teams' advanced schedules for the rest of this year, to formulate a plan on scheduling. And I look at Tampa's, and you look at they got this road trip in Vancouver, in Edmonton, in Calgary. Edmonton's playing extremely well right now. Vancouver still playing well. And they come home, first home off of the West Coast trip. They get the St. Louis Blues. Then they got Vegas, Washington, Florida, New York Rangers, and then they finish it off with the team that's no longer the free spot on the bingo card, the Montreal Canadiens, to finish the year. Um, that's still a very tough schedule for them to close out this season. So that's a good opportunity to find some spots where you can make some money betting against Tampa Bay, because they still get respect in the betting markets from the books. So you find some little lower prices on them, and lower prices against them as well too. So with that said, I really like that one. Tampa's one of the ones I had circled, so I'm glad we're on the same page as far as that one goes. Um, Best bet before I throw it to Brian. 3 plays up in NHL Tour player props. One is an NHL game as well too. No action in the NFL tonight. I'm just going to be a viewer on that. Don't forget that great deal at WagerTalk. The rest of 2023 for only $199 is still a great deal, and it's going to be a big week. Hopefully, a very big week for me as we bounce back. My free play, I'm going back to that game, Dallas and Detroit. I'm taking the Stars in a regulation time, minus 145, 10-0 their last 10 at home against the Red Wings, including 7 in regulation time. Hopefully they can make that 11 in a row and 8 in regulation with a win tonight. Guys, appreciate you guys tuning in. As always, those comments have been fantastic. Let's go to Brian. Brian, what do you got up at Wager Talk? And give us your free play in today's show.
Yeah, quick regarding Andrew's buy and sell Colorado. I have no problem with it. Just started tomorrow, not tonight. And also Tampa Bay. Where the hell have you been all year, man? We've been fading Tampa Bay all year. This is a team that had a lot of not elderly, but older players and lost some people in the offseason. So, yeah, Tampa Bay's been good to me on the season. I've got 4 plays up, and we're selling them all for $19. 3 hockey, 1 college basketball, on a 33-13 run in hockey. And as you can tell by the games that I liked on today's card, I play a lot of underdogs. So 33-13 has been pretty impressive. Also 20-10 in college basketball. We've had some really nice college basketball seasons the last few years, heating up in that regard. 4 plays for $19. You get everything for today, but as you mentioned, the rest of the season deal, the rest of the 2023 deal is the better deal to go, or extended service. And you can get those numbers. A lot of great deals right now over at WagerTalk. My best bet for the show, touched on a little bit, and you mentioned it, the team total under for the Colorado Avalanche. Went against them on the under last game out, and I believe they scored 2. I would expect 2, maybe 3 at the most in this one, and it's under 3.5, and you're getting it like minus 110. So I think that's a pretty good bet. So we'll play the Avalanche under team total is the best bet on the show today.
All right, shop around, get that best number you possibly can, get the best price you can. But Brian, looking towards the under team total for the Avalanche. And guys, once again, that year-end special expires today. So both these guys have been on some great runs across multiple sports. So $199 will get you all those sports, every single play. And Brian mentioned he's got a handful of plays today, not just one best bet, a handful of them. So if you want all of those, plus anything else he's involved in, take advantage of that great special. I'm on a 7-1 run in the NFL. Also want a great run with those totals and team totals in the NHL. So we'll try and keep that going. And again, you can join me over at wagertalk.com and use that special on myself as well. My best bet, though, this is going to be kind of the garbage game of the night. Back when I used to play sports, we used to call this one the toilet bowl game of the night, the game that nobody cares about. The Coyotes and the Sabres. Look, the Coyotes to me are just a much different team on the road than they are at home. Their defense seems a lot sloppier. They don't get some, out of this world goaltending as much, and their scoring just can't really keep up. The Sabres have had an up and down schedule lately, playing some tougher teams, playing some softer teams. When it comes down to it, I understand in the NHL, it's really important to use the eye test, but the numbers tell me this Sabres team is better and they have more to produce offensively than they have. And I feel like this is a Coyotes team that gives up so many chances. Their goaltenders are up there in the top 3 in goals saved above expected. Those numbers have to regress and come down a little bit. Give me the Buffalo Sabres tonight to get back on track, to find a win. And hopefully tonight they are not the free space on the bingo card, as Carm mentions there. So, guys, a decent night tonight in the NHL. We got college hoops action, 2 games in the NFL. If you want our plays, join us over at wagertalk.com. If not, please do us a favor, hit the like button on this video, comment who you're betting on, and we appreciate you all for watching. On behalf of Carmine and Brian,